40-ish minutes of live side split stretching. We do this every single day to practice consistency, both for you and for me, because it's way more fun to do hard stuff when you have other people to do it with. Hopefully, that means we build a little bit of community, and together we make a bunch of progress towards our side split goals. Hope you have fun. Let's get started. We're going to get started with the hip cars. Hip cars are all about moving your leg and your hip through its full range of motion using just your muscles. Okay? And what we are, hey Sheena, welcome back. What we're doing looks a little bit like this. We're going to lift this knee in front as high as possible. We're going to open up that knee, open up that hip as wide as possible while keeping the knee high, rotating the leg so that the ankle and the knee are both as high as possible. Then finally, bring that leg down and back. So the hamstrings are going, the glutes are flexing, and you're feeling a little bit of stretch in the front of that hip flexor. That is 1 rep. We're going to do 10 in total on the left side and 10 on the right side. Let's get going. Before we get going, make sure if you need something to help you balance, you have something to hold on to, something to grab. I recommend something a little bit higher so it's easier to stay balanced. If it's really low to the ground, you have to lean forward to touch it. It's not going to help you balance very much. All right. Once you have that, let's get going. High knee, open, ankle, down and back. High knee, open, ankle, down and back. High knee, open, ankle, down and back. I think that's 3. So this makes 4. High knee, open, ankle, down and back. 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 I think that's 8. 2 more. And last one, 10. Shake out both legs, give it a second to breathe, and let's get into the other leg. High knee, open, ankle, down and back. 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 I think that's 7. Kind of lost count. But that would make this number 9 and this number 10. All right. We're done with hip cars going forward. Let's do hip cars going back. Going back looks a little bit like this. We're going to start by bringing the leg down and back. The knee is behind the standing leg. We're flexing the hamstrings. We're flexing the glutes. We're pulling the leg back so you're feeling the stretch in the front of the leg. From here, we're lifting that leg up directly to the side so that we can do some cool like martial arts kicks, but not actually, because it's gonna be really hard if you're just going, love tap. Okay, from here, we're gonna rotate that leg so the ankle is down, the knee is as high as possible, but that knee is positioned so that your hip is open directly to the side. And then from there, we're gonna pull it all the way in to the front, and that is 1 rep. I hope that makes sense. I'm gonna do it facing you. Nego Panda 1214 on YouTube. Welcome back. It's good to see you. Yeah, we moved it 6 hours later. I'm sorry you missed a couple of lives, but we have officially moved it a bunch later because I'm traveling and in a new country, in a new time zone. I want to be respectful of the local people and not be up super early or super late so that I bother other people. Okay. On the Arawash says, where are you from? I'm from the US. We got a couple of other comments too on TikTok. Let's swipe real close. Ganowski, welcome back. Sheena, I already welcomed you, but welcome again. And Joshua Adam, welcome. And where'd the comment go? Where'd the comment go? Okay, there we go. Oh my god, yes, perfect. I've been trying to do my splits and am so inflexible. Great, you're in the exact right place. We do a little bit of flexibility stretching every single day so that we can make a little bit of progress every single day, adding up, building on that consistency, and hopefully together we can make a whole bunch of progress. All right. Whew. Let's get back into the hip curls. I think I demonstrated one rep going backwards on the left side. I'm going to do it one more time because it's been a couple of seconds. If you're just hopping in, we do 30 minutes of live side stretching. If you're just hopping in, we do 30 minutes of live side split stretching every single day. Been running a little bit longer than 30 minutes, so I hope you have fun. And let's go. Back, side, ankle, knee. Back, side, ankle, knee. Back, side, ankle, knee. I think that's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Whew. Switching to the other side. We do this because it helps to strengthen those little weaker muscles, weaker range of motions in our hip and in our legs, and we help make them a little bit stronger at the end range of motion, which is where we tend to be the weakest. Training these helps us to move a little bit more smoothly, and they're really good for making sure you have as much range of motion for as long as possible. All right, I feel like we've done 8, 9, and one more, 10. Whew. That's 10. Hip cars, left, right, front and back. And that means we are done with our first warm-up exercise. Let's get into warm-up exercise number 2. It looks like a hamstring stretch, but these are called elephant walks. Elephant walks look a little bit like this. We fold forward, get into this L shape as much as we can. If you're a little bit stuck higher up, that's totally okay. It's part of the process. And our goal is to focus on bringing the belly button down as low to the ground as possible. Your hamstrings will start tightening up, start getting a little bit stiff. We do this every day, and I don't expect you to come into this pre-warmed up, so we warm up together. And that means we're taking it nice and chill at the beginning of every warm-up exercise. So slowly work on shifting your weight from side to side, trying to bring the belly button down to the ground as you shift, and then we'll bend the knees more and more and more and more as our hamstrings wake up, as our hips wake up. And that's it. This is the elephant walk. I used to do these more like we're doing 10 in this way and 10 in that way, but the goal is pretty simple, and it doesn't have to look any particular way. As long as you are trying to bring your belly button closer to the ground, your hamstrings are moving, you are moving, then it is all good. So I think in the future, maybe I'll just do we'll do 45 seconds of this or something like that. All right, now that we've done a couple of these and maybe you're realizing your body is starting to move better, we're going to add a bunch of fun stuff to it. And by bunch, I mean just like one thing, but it's going to be a little bit complex to explain the first time I explain it. Once you understand it, it'll be second nature. It'll be really easy. We're going to add a little bit of twisting. We're going to warm up the back, get our arms working a little bit so that the whole body gets warmed up and it's not just our legs. All right, so let's get back into that folded L position. We're going to bend one knee forward. Right now my left knee is bent forward. My right leg is straight. I'm going to take my left hand, grab my right leg. The right leg is straight. I'm going to open up my chest by pushing my hand down against the straight leg. I'm going to take that arm, bring it back behind me. Look at that hand. Try to bring your belly button down to the ground again and come back. Same thing on the other side. Now we're going to switch. The right leg is bent, the left leg is straight. Take the right hand, grab the straight leg, push on that leg to help open up your chest. Take the left hand, point it behind you, Try to bring your chest and belly button down again. Feel that stretch. And also twist open and then come back down. You start feeling the stretch sort of in your shoulder as you try to bring the arm back, warm up your upper body a little bit. You're gonna, as you reach around, you're gonna be feeling the blood flowing into your fingers or out of it, I guess, because your hands are all the way up there. And when we do these twists, they also work on our spine and getting them to rotate, which is one of the very basic abilities of the back that we probably don't do any of usually. If you work out a lot, you'll know most exercises end up looking like this. Or, I don't know, do we do anything else? Back extensions? Some people train from side to side like this, and these oblique muscles. Doesn't happen very often, but most of that back's ability, most of the back's ability is never actually taken advantage of when we work out. So I like to try to add a little bit of it back in to the stretchy, fun stuff. Especially if you feel like your back is really stiff, it's very lovely to take some time to wiggle it out. Bring your shoulders back and forth, move your belly button. We don't have to get into that now because it's about side splits, but your back is super mobile. So when you get a chance, try and give it some love and help it move to new places. And I think one of the most challenging parts of the way we happen to live our lives these days, sitting in front of chairs, sitting in super padded, cushiony car seats, etc., is it just locks our back into a comfortable position, but that means that we don't use any of the muscles, we don't move, and that means we lose all the muscles in our back that let us move, right? So once we've given up those muscles, it takes a lot more effort to build those muscles back up to help us move well. All right, that is the back spiel. I hope you did some twists and you're ready to get into the Cossack switch. The Cossack switch is our third warm-up exercise. It's our final warm-up exercise. After these, we get into static stretching, which means we kind of just hang out in one position and we hold it there for a little bit. So if you are not yet warmed up, take advantage and get a little sweaty. All right. The Cossack switch looks a little bit like this. We're going to open up our legs nice and wide, probably about 3 times our body's width, and point our toes out roughly about 45-ish degrees. And the goal is to try and just drop down to one side as much as possible. I want your knees to be going in the same direction as the direction your toes are pointing in. When I say that, I mean, and I'm going to rotate my body so my toes are pointing right at you, so it's easy to see. My toes are pointing at you. My knees are traveling the same direction as my toes are pointing. I want your knees to go in this way. I want your knees to go out that way. I don't want your knees to go in. I don't want your knees to go out. I want your knees to travel right above your toes. Okay? Once you're here, I want you to hang out. Feel that pressure building in the front of your ankle here. I want you to feel the stretch to your Achilles tendon, maybe to your calves. I want you to feel the pressure in that hip. If it's too much, you can always lean into the quad muscle. If you want to feel super strong and make your muscle really tired, you can try and sit up a little straighter. And you can experiment with the angle that you keep your leg. If you're pretty familiar with squatting, front squats, then work on pointing that knee more forward. If you want to work on your hip mobility, opening up the hips, point your knees and ankles a little bit wider out. All right. Once we've hung out here for a little bit, the goal is to hang out here for a little bit because I want you to get used to the position. This is the position that I want you to get stronger in and get more comfortable with. So I talk a lot and I try to fill in the space while we just hang out here. On this side, this leg, our heel is down, our toes are up, and our knees are up. All right. This is called external leg rotation. We're going to use it for the side splits in a little bit, so I'm pointing it out now. The Cossack switch, I said earlier, is about movement. And that's because we want to get our butts to the other side and let the other hip do the same thing that we just let the right hip do, which is hang out, feel the pressure in the ankle, feel the stretch in the Achilles, feel the pressure in that hip, and hang out a little bit. Then same thing, heels down, toes up, knees up in the other leg. It's gonna be a little bit tough as you adjust into this position and find a relatively comfortable version of it for yourself, because there's so many different joints that need to get comfortable. Your ankles, your knees, your hips, your low back is what's helping you balance. If you lean really far forward, it might be easier to help your leg balance, but there's so much range of motion that you can play with that you got to figure out what position works for you. Okay? From here, we're going to start moving from side to side, and there's lots of different ways to do this. You can get really cool and strong, try to stand up straight, stick your arms out, and do it with pure muscle power. You can give yourself a little bit of assistance, lean forward, put your hands down to help you over. I don't care what you do, as long as you're pushing yourself, and you end up in this position. This leg position on the left side is basically a side split position, right? And we want to get that in as part of our warm-up. All right, keep coming over from side to side. If your knees are a little bit uncomfortable, being in a really deep squatting position, you can try to come up a little bit, square it out a little bit so that there's less pressure on the knee, and you can come into a squat, come into standing before coming back down to whatever position that you can handle. You don't have to go all the way down every single time. We want you to try, we want you to get more comfortable in those positions, but if it's painful, you don't have to go hard every single time. Okay. We're good. If you haven't been, we're moving from side to side, and I think we can just do 5 of these from side to side, and then we're ready to move on. Again, you can put your hands down, give yourself a little bit of support. You can just keep them down here the whole time. If that's what you need, you can grab a chair to help you keep your back a little bit straighter up and still do the same thing. And you can come into some full squats if that is better for you. Ooh, my hip just cracked real loud. Whew, okay. Take a break, take a breather. I should have grabbed water, feeling foolish, but that's okay. Take a second to catch your breath. Feel your hip complaining, being tired, and it's just part of the process. We're gonna get into the stretches now, and the first thing I recommend you do is go grab a cushion. We need a cushion to pad our knees so that when we get into the stretch that we're doing, the hamstring stretch, our knee gets a little bit of not discomfort. Because we want to hold the stretch, we want to feel comfortable in the stretch, and not be thinking about the knee going, oh my god, my knee hurts. Why did I not get a cushion? I can't focus on the stretch. All right, so go grab that. And while you do that, I'm going to crawl over here and find a water bottle. I'll be right back. Whee! All right, I'm going to check the chat. While we grab our pillows, grab our cushions, you can grab anything that will give a little bit of padding. If you have some carpeting, that will do. That will be fun. An old towel, steal your dog's bed, you know, anything at all. Okay. Whew. Oh, I accidentally tapped something and invited somebody to join as a guest. Whoops. The sun goddess says, I am tired already. I totally get you. The warm-up is pretty intense. So it makes sense that you're tired. We gotta do this kind of intense warm-up because we got all of these muscles that we gotta get warmed up and prepared for the actual stretches. And I don't know, that's just how the suffering goes. I say suffering kind of like as a joke, so don't take that too seriously. But in these positions, you're there, you're struggling a little bit, you're holding it, and you're tired. I think you can call that suffer. Mateo says these look great for golf. Can you do a golf specific day? I legitimately know almost nothing about golf. I've seen a couple of cool videos of people doing like these really cool swings that go all the way around. If we're just talking about thoracic rotation, I'm happy to look into that and see if we can put something cool together. But will it be super relevant to golf other than the fact that you're twisting your spine? I don't know. We'll find out. Okay. Sarah says great info. Thank you. Thank you for the compliment. All right. All right. All right. All right. I'm gonna try and scroll fast. Funny Bunny Vibes says hello. Hello. I need this while in the gym, so it's great. Oh, awesome. Thank you for taking me to the gym. Oh, actually, no, you're saying thank you for the great warm-ups because you need them for when you go to the gym. Lovely. Okay, let's go. Hamstring stretch. In the hamstring stretch, we want to make ourselves comfortable enough that we can focus on just the really painful part of stretching the hamstring. So let's figure out how to do all the other pieces nice and clean so that we can focus on our hamstrings. Have that knee drop straight down into the hip. I like to drop it straight down like this. We're not really doing a front split. You don't have to bring the leg like back. Just straight down is totally fine. The other thing I want you to try to make sure we're not doing a front split, so try to keep your hips squared. What I mean by that is my left hip and my right hip are basically the same level in front of me, right? In this profile position, my left hand and my right hand and my left hand basically cover each other. You can't see my other hand. But if I stick my leg out and I try to really bring this leg out in front of me, you'll notice that all of a sudden okay, maybe you can't from that camera angle. If I scoot back here and I do this, my left hand and my right hand are not in line anymore. My right hip is out and extended because I'm trying to get into this deep stretch. You don't have to do that, okay? I want you to try and square up your hips so that your left and your right hip are in a straight line this way. Same with your shoulders. Once you're doing both of those things, stick that leg in front once again and focus on bringing the belly button down to the thigh. As soon as you start going down, your hamstrings are going to be upset with you and they're going to be really unhappy. I want you to take a big deep breath in, release slowly, and try to get a little bit deeper. Try that again. Breathe deep breath in, release out, and get deeper. Once you are as deep as you can get, we're going to start our 30 seconds. I'm turning around so you can see me working extra hard trying to get into this deep hamstring stretch. You don't have to move. Let's go. Bring the belly button down to the thigh. 30, 29, 28, 27. Remember to breathe. 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All right, come on out of the stretch. Your hamstring is probably tired, but it should be the case that as soon as you get out of the stretch, shake the leg off for a second or two, most of that tension goes away and you're ready to move on to something else. All right, let's continue and punish your other leg with some hamstring stretches. Same thing, we're keeping the hips nice and square so that they run right across our body, sticking that leg in front, folding, bring the belly button down towards the thighs. It's going to get intense. Take a nice big deep breath in, release, and fold down towards the leg. And once you're ready, let's go. 30 seconds. 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All right, come on up out of that stretch. Whew. Hamstring stretch is done. This cushion, you don't need it anymore. You can toss it away. Don't cause too much damage with a flying pillow. And we're going to move into the next stretch. We're going to move into the next stretch. We have a couple of comments. I'm going to just scroll real quick. This makes me want to try yoga or Pilates. Those are all great things to work on. I think they're a little bit different, but there's a lot of mats laying down in floor Pilates, and that sometimes, actually, no, both are really intense if you go to a class where you're doing intense stuff. In yoga, a lot of the intensity comes from these moves that you've never done before that require different muscles to fire, like what we just did during the warm-up, this sort of twisting position and opening up, doing the balancing that you need, doing the sort of rotating that you need to do. For most people, these are completely new movements, and so there's like a whole bunch of skill building that you do when you first start yoga. It's also the case for Pilates, but in Pilates, I feel like there's more stuff built on core stability. That's not to say that yoga doesn't have that same core stability. It's just taught in a very different way. The yoga core stability, you sort of just have to figure out where it makes sense and piece it together. Whereas I feel like in Pilates, the core stability is like, this thing is for the core. So flex the core, tuck your butt, hold it strong, and then we'll also add a little bit of like other stuff at the same time. This is floor Pilates. This isn't the really cool slidey stuff that's really cool on Instagram these days, where people are going like back and forth. I don't know anything about that. So you should definitely try out both, because if you find something that you really like, something you really enjoy, you find a community that you like, then it'll help you stick with a fitness routine, help you get stronger, help you get better at balancing type things. And yeah, I encourage it. So please go find what you enjoy and do more of it. All right, where are we at? We're doing the second stretch. Second stretch is called the butterfly stretch. I recommend you get to a wall to do this, and I'll show you why in just a second. Most of the time in a butterfly stretch, you bring your feet together, you pull it in, and then you kind of get stuck here. You're folding forward, you're trying to bring your knees down into the ground, but it's really hard to apply pressure into your knees because you're barely seated in a stable position. If you have tight hamstrings, maybe you already want to fall backwards like this. Your back is already leaning out, and you're working really hard to round your back so that you don't fall out. Now you have to open up your groin from here. It's really hard. So if you get your butt to a wall, you put your hips, your shoulder, your head to this wall, so you have this nice straight posture. You should find, if you try to get back into that position, put your feet together, pull it in towards the body, you're immediately in a much deeper stretch than you were 2 feet away from the wall, right over there. So, from here, I recommend you focus on strengthening some muscles. We want to contract these outer thigh muscles, these glute muscles, to really open up your thighs, bringing them to the ground. All right. From here, it's gonna look a little bit like this. You're gonna contract those muscles, the outer thigh muscles, the glutes. You're trying to bring the knees to the ground, and your groin should start feeling that stretch. Whew. Take a nice big deep breath, and we're gonna apply some external pressure. Because your head, your shoulders, your butt are against the wall, when you put your hand right here, just below the knee, and start applying pressure to bring it down, your shoulders might shrug up a little bit to help you with this process. You'll feel the back of your head is pushing into the wall really hard. This is basically the wall helping you to push your arms and push your legs down. And your head is going to have to pay the price. It's going to have to do some hard work. You can try to shift that weight down into your shoulders instead of your head if you just tuck your head in a little bit. And that's it. Apply pressure, bring your knees down, flex those muscles, 30 seconds, let's go, 30, 29, 28, 27, and don't forget to breathe, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16. If you have some light dumbbells, kettlebells, maybe like a really heavy water bottle, you can put those on your legs instead of pushing down. So you don't need to do this quite this way, but I do find that this is the easiest way if you have none of those other tools. As long as you have a wall, you can push your legs down to the ground real hard. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, almost done, 3, 2, 1, 0. All right. Relax. Let it all go. If your hips are feeling like they're stuck in place, go ahead and give them a nice little lift. Flap these legs around. I assume that's why it's called the butterfly, because these are wings. Flap those wings and come on out of that stretch. So you got the legs. Once you're feeling more or less normal, let's get ready to get into our third stretch, the standing pancake. The standing pancake looks a little bit like this. We'll open up our legs nice and wide, just until it's almost uncomfortable. We don't want you to be uncomfortable because the focus of the standing pancake is actually to fold forward and to bring our head, shoulders, belly button towards the ground, or better, to bring it in towards our legs. The goal is to fold into the legs. It is really hard to do that. So we do the standing pancake because this variation lets gravity pull your head, your chest, your belly button, everything down into the ground. You get a little bit of assistance. If you were to try to do that seated on the floor and you're just trying to fold forward, it'd be a lot harder to get anywhere. I got a question that says, do I do yoga? I don't do much yoga at all anymore, but at one point my best friend's mom was a yoga teacher, and we'd go several times a week because she was awesome. And her style of yoga is a little bit different from the typical vinyasa style. It's much more about relaxing and resting and giving yourself permission to chill in a position. So it's less athletic. It's less like downward dog, duh, duh. Like it's not a cardio workout at the same time. And because of that, I have fallen asleep so many times in her yoga class. But that is why I love it, because it added a new mentality towards yoga, towards what it means to stretch, towards giving myself permission. I mean, you're falling asleep in a thing you're paying money for, so that's not good. But allowing yourself to fall asleep in the thing that you pay money for lets you recognize that, hey, look, like maybe I'm really tired in this place, and this place is peaceful enough that despite there's ladies talking and stuff and people moving, I can get so relaxed I can just take a nap. That's really cool. But it might also indicate that I should sleep more. Okay, let's keep going. Where were we? Standing pancake. We'll open up the legs, kind of wideish, until it's almost uncomfortable, not actually uncomfortable, folding forward and letting gravity pull us down. If you stick your arms out in front of you, it'll help bring you down. If you hold something in front of you, like a water bottle, that will also help. There's nothing within arm's reach, so you're just going to have to believe me. Okay, once you are here, I want you to focus on bringing the belly button down to the ground. It's always the belly button, and it's always down to the ground. And that's it. That's really it. 30 seconds. Let's go. 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18. One helpful tip is if you stick your butt kind of back behind you, it helps when you put your hands out in front of you to help counterbalance. 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All right, come on up out of that stretch. Oh, if you did that right, your legs are struggling right now, and that's normal. You're going to feel the stretch in two main places. One, the inner thigh muscles. The adductors here, their job is to basically pull your leg towards the center of your body, and I guess technically slightly out that way, right? So their job is to go contract, 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 and do that. So when your legs open up and go out, they're freaking out. They're going, whoa, 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 what are you doing? You shouldn't be doing that. You're really stretching me out, stressing me out. That's this muscle's job, inner thighs, the adductors. And the second place we're going to feel a whole bunch of pressure is in the hamstrings. Anytime we fold forward, doesn't matter if your legs are together for a regular hamstring stretch or if your legs are apart in a pancake or a split, as long as you're going like this, your hamstrings are going to be unhappy with you. That is why we spend so much time doing the elephant walks, slowly warm it up. We do the hamstring stretch, and now we have the standing pancake. As they get more intense, as you do more intense things, we are steadily getting more and more prepared for that intense thing. All right, we just wrapped up our third stretch. We got two more to go. The fourth is called the figure four, and the fifth is the actual side splits. We're going to do 30 seconds of figure four or pigeon, which is yoga-y, and we're going to do that on each leg. And then when we do the side splits, we're going to do 30 seconds for 3 rounds. All right. In between each round, we're going to relax, we're going to shake out the body, we're going to try and calm the nervous system a little bit so that when we get back into the next round, we're going to get usually a little bit deeper than the round prior. All right, that's what's coming up. If you're having fun, if you're enjoying it, hit follow, hit subscribe, keep coming back. You need to practice a lot to make progress, and hopefully I can help you do that. Practice consistency. We do this every single day. Let's go. All right. Next stretch is called the figure four. It's called the figure four because our ankle is coming across our body and it looks kind of like the number 4. But as always, we're trying to bring our belly button down to our leg and get into a position that looks sort of like this. The hip is coming up, the chest is coming towards the leg, and we're trying to feel a stretch right here in the outer hip, outer glute-ish area. You might also feel it on the inner thigh, depending on where you're tight. Where are we going with this? That is the figure four stretch. We got 2 different ways to really do that stretch because the goal again is to fold your chest towards this bent ankle. If you're familiar with yoga, then the pigeon stretch, which looks like this, is one way to do it. The leg is going across the body. You're trying to square up so the chest kind of hits the middle of the leg bone and trying to bring the chest down over that leg, keeping the hips as low as possible. That is one way to do it. The only thing I want you to remember is keep your ankle from tucking in. When your ankle comes all the way towards your groin, it gets really easy and gets really comfortable, and that's not what we want. We're trying to stretch, so keep your ankle away from you as much as you can. So that is the pigeon stretch. Let's talk about the figure four stretch. The figure four stretch looks a little bit like this. So taking the leg we want to stretch, we're crossing it just below or above the knee, depending what angle I guess you're looking at this. And we're reaching our hands through, grabbing the knee and pulling the leg towards us. In this variation, you have total control over the whole entire situation, and you have to work pretty hard because gravity isn't going to do it for you. So pick whichever variation you want. You got 30 seconds to prepare, and we're going to hold this for 30 seconds. Let's go. 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20. Again, we're trying to feel this in that outer thigh, hip, glute area right here. And if you're not feeling it, then you need to adjust. 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All right. Oh, relax for a second. Take a break. All right, let's go. Come on back up. We're going to get into the other side. You ready? Let's go. Cross that leg. Over. Reach through. Pull everything in. And did I hit my head really hard? I feel like the top of my head is kind of painful. Ooh, okay. Ready? Let's go. 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, almost done. 3, 2, 1, 0. Oh, okay. Relax for a second. Take a break. If you're already on the ground, roll over. If you want, you can sort of roll with that figure 4 and twist your body from side to side. Maybe your lower back, your mid back right here will get a little bit of stretch out of this. And once you're ready, come on up. Let's talk side splits because it's time. We've done everything else. Everything that we do prior to the side splits is really to warm up our bodies, pre-stretch some of the same muscles that we are going to be stretching when we do the side split, and get our bodies excited for some side splits. Because everything that we did is going to be more intense than what we just did in the side split. But when we do the side split, we combine it all together. Hey, Sheena. Thank you for coming in. Hope to see you tomorrow. Sorry you're missing the side splits. Okay. For the side splits, I recommend you get really close to that wall that we used for the butterfly, or any wall. The reason for this is because if you are in a sort of side split position and then you start falling forward, it's easy enough to catch yourself. If you fall backwards, it's much harder to catch yourself safely. That's why if you have a wall right behind you, it'll be easier to keep safe. What I'm doing is I'm about 8 to 12 inches in front of the wall. If you can get really deep into the ground, you won't need it as much because you can only fall back so far, a couple inches. But if you are pretty deep and you're still not sure, you got to be a little bit closer to the wall. Okay? Whew, I hope that makes sense. Let's talk side splits now. We're going to open up those legs as wide as you can until it gets a little bit uncomfortable here at the hips. And then we're going to fold forward, put our hands down on the ground. This allows you to shift some of that body weight into your hands, making it easier for your legs to rotate. What we're doing is called leg external rotation, and that looks like this. We're turning the legs until the heel is down, the toes are up, and the knee is pointing up. And we want to do that on both sides. I think I can vaguely make out my feet are sort of doing that. Okay, cool. From here, you might already just be feeling like, wow, I'm totally stuck. I cannot move. This is really hard. And if that's the case, you can stop right here. If you feel like you want to try to get a little bit deeper, you can walk your hands back towards your hips and do a little wiggle from side to side. If you can open up your hips a little bit, then you've done great. All right. Once you can't go any further, let's go. Start our 30 seconds. 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All right, lean forward. Walk your hands out. Bring your legs back in together. Come back into standing. And Take a nice break. We just did our first side split-ish stretch. What we just did was basically make all of our muscles go and get really tight. So now what we have to do is relax and undo all of that tightness in our legs and a little bit in our arms. So what I recommend is just shake it out. Shake, 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 shake. Flop that ankle around, flop the legs, flop the knee at the hip. It doesn't have to be aggressive. You don't have to use a crazy amount of power, but we do want to do it like a little shake, a little wiggle. Make sure that your leg is relaxed. I call it flopping. I call it shaking. I call it wiggling. Whatever you like to call it, as long as it helps you relax your legs. How do you know your leg is relaxed? If your leg was really tight and your muscles were still firing, you would not be able to move without control of that position. How do I say this in a way that makes sense? If, for example, your arm muscles, your biceps, were firing really hard and you're trying to move, you would have like this weird pendulum thing going on, right? And you would look like a really stiff robot. As long as you don't look or feel like a really stiff robot, then those muscles are relaxing. Cool? Cool. Once your legs are feeling kind of normal-ish, we're going to do a couple of quick checks to make sure all your joints and everything is working. All right? We're going to start with some hip circles. Usually, I feel a bunch of stretch right here on the outside front of the hips. I seem to be okay after this round. After that, I like to do some high knees, lift those knees up, feel the hip flexors working. Then do a little mini squat here. I'm going to show it to you from the side. You don't have to go into a full squat. I'm just trying to put some pressure into the knees, into the ankles, onto the feet, into the toes to make sure that everything is working and bending as it is supposed to. If there's anything that's a little bit uncomfortable, spend a couple of seconds to move a little bit in that position and see if you can work it out. All right, that's it. Let's get into the second round of side splits. We're going to go a little bit faster through the setup. So, because we already did the first time. All right, but close to wall, 8 to 12 inches. Open up those legs until it's almost uncomfortable. Here, put your hands down like you're doing a push-up. We're not actually doing push-ups. It's just to support our legs so that we can externally rotate them. I'm going to scoot over so you can see the heel is down, the toes are up, and the knee is pointing up. From here, walk your hands back towards your hips to put more of your body weight into the legs. You don't have to walk them back if you find it too intense, but I recommend you give it a try to see how it feels, the difference. From here, do a little wiggle from side to side, so you can get deeper into the stretch. I promise that's not me, that's the floor. Let's go. 30 seconds. 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All right, come on out of that stretch, lean forward. Come back into standing, and let's shake, 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 shake. Relax those muscles. Flop, wiggle, and once your legs are starting to feel kind of normal-ish, let's do our quick checks and get ready for round 3. Hip circles. Usually in the second round of side splits, the side hip thing that I was talking about earlier, it's a little bit more intense, so I spend a little bit of extra time here stretching out these hip muscles. And once they are calm and regular again, we can move on. High knees. If there's any specific thing that you're feeling weird about, you need to take extra time for, go ahead and do that. Mini squats so that we check our knees, our ankles, our toes all at the same time. And once everything is checked, everything is good, you're basically ready for round 3. But we should take a little bit of extra time because our body needs a little bit of extra time to rest in between sessions. Oh, this is day 3, I think. Oh, welcome back. Day 3, congratulations. That's awesome. Has anyone been able to sleep better after these? I have been. That is really good idea. Maybe I should do these before bed. Okay. Travel Darcy says see you tomorrow. Thank you for welcoming, I think, Sheena out, right? Yep. Joshua says all done. Thanks. Amazing. All right. Okay, let's continue. Third round of side splits. If you're having fun, if you are getting good exercise, if you're feeling proud of all of the work that you've already done so far on this live, then I recommend you hit follow, hit subscribe, get notified. We do this every single day to practice some good stretching, to get mobile, to get strong, and let's go. Third and final side split stretch. Let's go. Open up those legs nice and wide. Focus on staying stable. Then, next up, we're going to fold, put our hands down on the ground, give ourselves a little bit of support. Walk the hands back towards our hips to put that body weight to work into the leg stretch. Get deeper. Then, do a little wiggle from side to side. See if you can get a little bit deeper. I forgot to tell you to externally rotate the legs, but I've done that already. I don't know if you can tell. Once you're in position, let's go for a final round of 30 seconds. 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22. If this whole time you've been doing these stretches with your arms locked out and straight, I recommend you experiment with bending your arms a little bit to put a little bit more weight back into your elbows, into your legs. 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All right, come on up. Lean forward. Bring the legs together. Come back into standing. Shake it out. Relax. Whew. Once again, flop, wiggle. What else have I called it? Flop, wiggle, shake. Relax the leg muscles. The more relaxed they are, the easier it'll be for you to go back to doing whatever that you were doing before this or whatever you're planning to do after this. Once your legs are feeling normal, let's do our quick checks. Hip circles. If you have any part of the body that feels a little stiff, feels a little bit weird, take care of it. Spend some time. I have my little hip things that I keep on talking about. And once that's done, let's do some high knees. Do the mini squats. Make sure your knees, your ankles, your feet are working well. There have been many moments where my ankle feels a little bit weird right here in the left outside of the ankle, and it just takes a couple of seconds to go back and forth and put a little bit of weight, not explosively. We're not trying to like take off and do a jump, but putting a little bit of movement into that ankle. I don't know, lines up the ligaments, lines up the ankle joint, whatever it does, until the pain goes away, the discomfort goes away. So make sure to take care of your body. And with that, we are done. We have wrapped up 3 rounds of side split stretching. We've done a whole bunch of movement, and we are all done for today. His only one says good night, good night, good night. I hope you had fun. Oh, Nasty says thank you. You're very welcome. I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you're getting so much value out of it. Casablanca says thank you. Thank you. Thank you for coming. I hope you guys feel really good. I hope you feel proud that you put in the work. You got some stretching done. Maybe learned something, tried something new today, perhaps. Even if you've been on live a bunch of times, I say a lot of different things. I try to say them over and over again so that if there's some piece that you didn't try the day before or the day before that or whatever, you can focus on it now, and maybe it'll make a little bit of a difference that you didn't notice before. Hopefully, that is just how you go through the rest of your life, trying to learn and try a couple of new things every once in a while. All right, that's it. Moving the camera, getting ready to shut down. If you had fun, if you feel like you stretched well, I hope you hit follow, hit subscribe, get notified, because we do this every single day. And the best way to make progress is to be consistent. I practice consistency both for you and for me because it makes it way more fun to go do hard stuff when you're doing it with other people. All right. Hopefully, with this little community, we can make a bunch of progress together. And I hope that sounds fun because that's all I'm asking you to do, make progress together. All right. Goodbye. I hope you had fun. It's time to log out. Goddess says, thanks a bunch. Bryce, hey, welcome back, everybody. It's good to see you. And Travel with Roxy, it's good to see you all. I hope you had a good time. Let's wrap up for today. I am shutting down. I hope to see you tomorrow. Same time. Bye-bye. Oh, can't end.